Are we doing it all wrong? Health, wealth and homelessness. How are these things connected, and why might we want to consider shifting the focus of our energy if we want to end homelessness? So welcome, I am David Ford and you are amazing. So the first things we might want to ask ourselves are these questions around how do we measure health and how do we measure wealth? And then maybe think about what homelessness is. So if you do a quick search on Google for wealth, it'll point you in the direction of money and the accumulation of assets over a lifetime. It's all about the money and the size of your pot. But surely we can measure wealth in a different way. Surely it should be about how we feel too. I haven't always been wealthy, but right now I feel like the wealthiest man in the world. I have a beautiful family. I have some great friends that I love dearly. I have a job that I love and work colleagues that mean so much to me. I'm also part of my local community where we know and support one another when we need to. So in other words, I measure my wealth by the relationships that I have and the experiences that those relationships bring. I'm also part of a couple of groups that get together for mutual support, and that feeling of belonging to something, that human connection. As humans, we need those relationships in our lives. That's the bit that keeps us human, isn't it? Not the gadgets that we possess or the size of our pots or bank accounts. Hugging your family and friends is a very different experience to cuddling your bank account or your pot. And before you all start, go, David, you need the money. Let me just quote something from the lyrics from a Beatles song. Money can't buy you love. And how right is that? So if we thought about wealth, what about health and how do we measure that? And again, if you search Google, it will show you the results talking about circumference of your waist, your blood pressure, your cholesterol levels, your blood sugar levels, your BMI. But BMI isn't necessarily the indicator for all your overall health. There's a website called Birdie that I visited, and it talks about health being more than the numbers on the scales. It talks about the food that you eat and knowing when you indulge and stuff, but it also talks about, as one of their indicators, you feel emotionally healthy and resilient. Emotional well-being and resilience sit alongside relationships, don't they? It's our relationships with other humans that helps us to build our emotional well-being and resilience. One of the ways we can overcome past traumas is by building resilience. And the way that we're told to do that is through relationships. Having someone to talk things through with. Having someone that you know is there for you. That's how we develop emotional well-being and resilience. It's all about the relationship. So let's think about homelessness for a minute and ask ourselves, if we want to look at that, ask ourselves, what is homelessness? And in order to help us with that, I looked at the Habitat website. They've got some great quotes from their readers, and this is one from Linda I absolutely love. Home is a safe haven and a comfort zone, a place to live with our families and pets and enjoy with our friends, a place to build memories as well as a way to build a future wealth, a place where we can truly be ourselves, and whether our houses are big, small, fancy or modest, there are shelters and our sanctuaries. So when we talk about homelessness, we're often just talking about bricks and mortar. But homelessness is so much more than that, isn't it? It's about those relationships that we have and the aspirations for our futures that we harbour. And yet we focus primarily on the bricks and mortar. Listen, I'm not saying the bricks and mortar aren't important. They truly are. But often the energy and the focus to help people move out of homelessness and lead fulfilling lives is around just bricks and mortar. Oh, and meeting those targets, those hard outcomes. Too often when that happens, people end up homeless again. So we moved Johnny off the streets into a hostel and now he's in a flat and we can tick him off as an outcome. That's one outcome achieved. And then we wonder why Johnny doesn't turn up or wonder why Johnny turns up on the streets a few months later. So, by the way, not everyone is Johnny, but I understand, and I definitely understand the connection between cash and hard outcomes. I get it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I agree with it, by the way. So the question is, are we looking in the wrong way or in the wrong direction for the answers to ending rough sleeping and homelessness? Should we be less focused on KPIs and hard outcomes? Or should we be focusing on building healthy, wealthy relationships instead and using those as the foundations to ending homelessness forever. I don't know, and I know I don't know everything, but I know that we have an amazing community full of ideas and wisdom, and I'd love to see or hear about your wisdom and your thoughts in the comments below. If you like the video, please hit that like and subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithms. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.
Don't give up. Don't give up.